Alright, what is going on, everyone? We have a new weapon archetype in the game with the Indebted Kindness Rocket Assisted Frame Sidearm. Is it any good? Well, in a nutshell, yeah, it's a nice addition to the game, and I do think it's going to help make sidearms a bit more usable with barrier champions this season. For me at least, some people love barrier sidearm when it's in the artifact, but I do not like it at all, so I'm excited to try this version of a sidearm. So, like I mentioned, this is a brand new weapon archetype, the first of its kind. It uses special ammo, it is arc, and it can roll with Volt Shot, which is always very strong on almost all primary ammo weapons. My teammate today got one with a trait called Beacon Rounds, which I believe is on some other weapons this season too, but that's the trait that you will want to go for in the left column from what I've seen so far. Beacon Rounds is basically going to grant tracking rounds to your projectiles when you get kills with this weapon, and dealing damage will extend that timer. This is going to be really helpful because there is a little bit of travel speed, just like all other rockets and projectile based weapons, so you kind of have to lead your shots if you're trying to hit an enemy that's kind of far away. And I got a new trait on mine called Permeability in the right column, which will actually change the weapon's damage type to whatever your subclass is right after you use your class ability. And this is not on a timer or anything, it's active until you stow it, and you can see here it straight up changes this weapon's damage type to strand. And it's going to get all the benefits of being a strand weapon if you're using things like strand surges and strand siphon mods as well. I would probably still prefer Volt Shot over this because Volt Shot is just so strong, which my teammate did happen to land the Beacon Rounds and Volt Shot roll on his first drop, and he also got the dungeon exotic today, so go Weeb, he hit the jackpot today. But anyway, the databases like Light GG and D2 Gunsmith haven't updated yet, so I don't know all the perk rolls, all the combinations, but this roll seems pretty awesome, the one that he got, so that's what I'm going to be going for. But what is this thing? What does the rocket assisted frame archetype even mean? Well, it is a rocket technically, but it has a very, very low blast radius from what I've tested so far. So don't expect this to function anything like an actual rocket launcher. I mean, it does use special ammo. You will get two damage numbers, one from the impact and one from the blast. And you'll see here that it is possible to get multi-kills, but like I said, the blast radius is so small, the enemies have to be pretty much on one another in order to get the multi-kill. And if you shoot the ground next to the enemy, it's kind of the same thing. You have to shoot it like right at their feet to do any sort of blast damage. But these blast damage numbers are pretty big, and they do seem to fluctuate too. Sometimes they don't even show up at all. So if you know why, let me know in the comments and I'll pin it. I feel like it's probably a really straight up answer, I just don't know what it is. But I was getting anywhere from about 5,000-ish on minor enemies like Taken Thralls, and up to 25,000 on mid to high tier red bar enemies like Taken Acolytes and Taken Captains. And that was just the blast radius damage. Typically I was getting like 4,000 to 6,000 depending on if I had surges on my regular impact damage. The point here is that this archetype does a lot more damage than a traditional sidearm, and yeah, it uses special ammo, but the ammo reserves seem to be pretty generous. I didn't really run out of ammo too often in the one strike I ran with this, even though it was pretty much the only weapon I was using. I always like to see new stuff in the game, and a new weapon archetype is something that we really don't get that often, so yeah, I'm a fan. Anyway, I just wanted to pop in really quick here, as I'm working on a lot of videos right now. Let me know what your experience has been with this weapon, if you had it drop, if you're going to go for it. If you want to run Warlord's Ruin, then join the Discord. We have tons of teams going right now. It's a super easy dungeon and we'd love to get you through it. But that's it for this one. I will see you all in the Discord or the next video.